Good morning, investor and corporate. Welcome to Digital Roadshow Year's End 2024 Performance Review. This session will run about 45 minutes, including Q&A. Company will start the session by 30-minute presentation, followed by 15-minute Q&A. During Q&A, investor may leave your question in meeting room chat box or use raise your hand function. We will open your microphone so you can ask the question to the company directly. May I now invite PTT Exploration and Production Public Company Limited to start the presentation.
Good morning, investors. Welcome to Set Digital Roadshow for PTTEP for the 2024 Performance Review. My name is Natapon Techa Warapon, together with Ms. Lalida Santikun from Investor Relations team. Today, agenda, we will go through the company and strategy overview, financial updates and business update, and then we'll go through Q&A at the end. So please feel free to leave your comment in the chat box so that we will address at the end. On the company overview, PTTEP is a E&P flagship within the PTT Group. We are the top 10 publicly listed company in the Stock Exchange of Thailand, with the current market capitalization around 13 to 14 billion US dollar. On our operational side, we have the production in 2024 around 700,000 barrels of oil equivalent per day, which represent around 9 billion US dollar of sales revenue in 2024. Our major shareholder is PTT, who holds around 64% of our total shares. We recently announced the annual dividend of 8% dividend yield at around 9.625 baht per share. We also operate under the sustainability framework. We also rated and widely recognized by several independent international raters, both domestically and internationally, on our ESG standard and disclosure. On the next slide, this year marks the 30th anniversary of PTTEP. Throughout 40 years of PTTEP, we have evolved from a joint venture partners to a full-scale operator. We have expanded beyond Thailand to a global scale, and we also have diversified ourselves beyond petroleum into clean and future energy sources. As a Thailand national oil company, we commit to ensure national energy security. We currently hold 82% market share in the domestic gas supply in Thailand, and we also expand internationally with the strategic growth area in Thailand, Malaysia, Middle East, and Myanmar. That's part of our operations that currently we operate in 13 countries. Over the past decade, our sales volume grew over 50% to the current level, 489,000 barrels of oil equivalent per day, while our unit costs have been improved 32% to the current level at 29.58 US dollar per BOE last year. Our key milestone along our journey of 40 years, we start in 1985. We established in 1985 to enter into S1, which is the largest oil field in Thailand. We expand into Myanmar in 1989. We become IPO in 1993, and we become the first time as an operator in PTTEP1 onshore oil field in Thailand. In 1998, we also became the operator of the major gas field in Thailand called Bongkot. Since then, we have expanded our business in our international in our core area in Southeast Asia, Middle East, and Africa, including Myanmar, Malaysia, Oman, UAE, Algeria, and Mozambique. Beyond petroleum, We also invest in clean and future energy sources in Hydrochrome, which is a green hydrogen project in Oman, and also Seagreen offshore wind farm in Scotland. The chart at the bottom show you our continuous growth in the production level, reaching 696,000 barrels of oil equivalent per day in production last year. On the next slide, we show you some key operational in 2024 and key achievement. Our sales revenue increased 6% to 489,000 barrels of oil equivalent per day. Our gas price lower slightly. Our unit cost increased, but still maintained below $30 per BOE. Our dividend was announced at 9.625 baht per share, which demonstrate our commitment to our long-term shareholder. Last year, we contribute the government revenue over $50 billion in supporting the national development and improving the quality of life of all Thais. For the greenhouse gas reduction, the accumulated reduction was around 4.08 million tons of CO2 equivalent, and the reduced greenhouse gas emission intensity is by 21.2% comparing to the 2020 base year.
สอบถามเรื่องอะไรนะครับ
On the key achievement on the right side, in G1/61, we have reached the production plateau at 800 million scf per day since March 2024. We have completed the acquisition of Gacha concession which is the development gas field, and we target to have the first gas within this year on the Dalma gas. For Waset UAE offshore 2, the field development plan have been approved last year, and we target to FID this year. On the Tuat gas project in Algeria, we recently announced the acquisition of the Tuat gas 22.2% indirect stake, which is a natural gas project in Algeria. Upon its completion, we target to have the immediate return and immediate reserve addition. On the Seagreen offshore wind farm, we complete our acquisition in the offshore wind farm in Scotland, and the project is currently doing well, meet our target, and provide a stable cash flow. On the CCS side, late last year in December 2024, Thailand cabinet has approved the Thailand NDC action plan, which provide a footstep for the CCS development in Thailand, which include Arthit CCS as a national pilot project, and also include the Eastern CCS hub to support the CO2 reduction in the Eastern Economic Corridor. As you can see that we have balanced our business growth together with the environment and social responsibility that has led to a lot of recognition via the SET Award in IAA Award and IR Magazine Awards. On the next slide, this gives you some strategic outlook and key focus with our mission to ensure energy security as a NOC, and also to expand internationally to create a long-term value creation. Our strategy drive into 3 pillars. The first one, drive value. Second one, decarbonize, and third, diversify. On the drive value, which we allocated 5-year budget over $32 billion, we aim to maximize the gas supply from T-Gas corridor, that is the Eastern corridor from the Gulf Thailand, Southern corridor, which is our project in Malaysia that we need to accelerate it to achieve the production. The Western corridor, which is the Myanmar, that we have to ensure the energy security in both Thailand and Myanmar. We also target to drive the cost competitiveness through the Gulf of Thailand Safe initiative or God Safe initiative relating to our cost improvement in wells, wellhead platform, operation expense, and decommissioning. We also seek international growth in our focus area that I mentioned earlier. The decarbonization, which we have the 5-year allocated 5-year budget around $0.5 billion US. We try to implement the greenhouse gas reduction initiative to achieve net zero target by 2050, which covering scope 1 and scope 2 that we have operational control. We also need to pursue the Artist CCS project that we have planned the FID within this year with the capacity up to 1 million ton per annum of CO2. On the third strategy pillar, diversify, that we have allocated 5-year budget over $0.75 billion US. We will pursue the Eastern CCS hub in the Gulf of Thailand. We also need to push forward our Hydrochrome project, which is a green hydrogen in Oman, which is currently in engineering phase, and we target to have the first production by the end of the decade. We continue to capture value and expertise from Seagreen Offshore Wind Farm, which currently provides stable cash flow to the project. On the next part, which is on the business update, which mainly drive value. In Thailand and Southeast Asia, Thailand represents around 69% of total sales volume. We try to maintain and sustain our gas supply from the Gulf of Thailand in G1/61, G2/61, Artist and Contract 4. And we also seek additional gas opportunity in the exploration project G1/65 and G3/65 that we have the first exploration wells scheduled this year. On the right-hand side, on the Malaysia, which currently target around 9% of our total sales volume. We try to maintain the production plateau from our 3 producing asset, Block K, Block H, SK 309 and 311. And we also implement the cluster development strategy for our marginal fields in Malaysia. The Malaysia greenfield, we would like to achieve the growth and have the first gas within 2028. On to SK 410B or Lang Lava. It is currently in the re-engineering stage in order to strengthen the economic viability of the project. On Myanmar, which currently contribute around 8% of the total sales volume from our 2 projects, Zawtika and Yadana, that we have to maintain the production in order to supply as the energy security for both Thailand and Myanmar. While the production from Yadana is set to decline due to its expiry in 2028 is approaching. However, we also look for the PSC extension. On the next slide, we'll go to the Middle East and Africa, which is our key core target for the long-term growth. Oman and UAE currently represent around 11% of our total sales volume. We will maximize the production from Block 6, which is the largest oil fields in Oman, and Oman 61, which is a natural gas field in Oman. Also, Gasha concession, we would like to achieve the first production this year from Dama Gas. There are also another development plan on Hale and Gasha gas, which we set to have the first production in 2028. For Abu Dhabi Offshore 2 or WASET, the field development plan has been approved by the government last year, and we would like to achieve the first production in 2027. On the left-hand side, on Algeria, currently 2% of our sales volume. We will have to maximize the asset value in the Algeria and ramping up phase 2 of Algeria Hassi Barricade, currently producing at 17K barrel per day. We aim to increase our production in phase 2 to 30K and 60K in 2029 and 2030 respectively. On Chuod project, which we just announced the acquisition and we target to complete within mid of this year. This natural gas field in Algeria and which is in the producing stage already, so it will provide the immediate cash flow, immediate return, and immediate reserve addition upon its completion. We will hold 22.1% in the project upon its completion. On the Mozambique, currently Mozambique Area 1 LNG is in the stage of assessing the site re-access readiness in order to resume its construction. However, the first cargo is still planned at late 2028 to the first half of 2029. On the next slide, it will show you some information about our CCS project, which is in line with the Thailand decarbonization pathway that have the goal of net zero GHG emission by 2065. And CCS will have to be a key part in this goal, net zero greenhouse gas emission goal, as demonstrated through the national CCS contribution goal, that CCS will need to come into play to have a 60 million ton per annum of CCS by 2065 in order to achieve the net zero target in 2065. As mentioned earlier, in December 2024, Thailand, the cabinet has approved Thailand's NDC action plan, or Nationally Determined Contribution Action Plan, which include ARTIT as a national pilot project with the capacity of up to 1 million ton per annum, and also include the Eastern CCS project with the capacity up to 10 million ton per annum. Both projects will be a major contributor to achieve the national CCS contribution goal. Both projects will contribute up to 11 million ton per annum from 60 million ton per annum from the national CCS contribution goal. However, there's still some more thorough initiative or actions that need to be done according to the NDC action plan. For example, to explore the suitable tax incentive and financial support in order to set part for the CCS development in Thailand. On the next part, we'll go through the financial update. So I will hand over to Ms. Lalita.
Thank you, Khun Nattapon. So now that we have covered the company overview and the business update, let's shift to the financial results for the year 2024. So allow me to start with the full year results on the right hand side. So in 2024, PTTEP reported the net income of around $2,230 million, reaching another record high and increased slightly around 1% compared to 2023. If you look at the profit from normal operations, it's declined a little, mainly due to a 3% drop in average selling price, as well as a 7% increase in the unit cost. The sale volume, on the other hand, increased by 6%, supported by the G1/61 project that reaching the 800 million scf per day of the productions in March 2024. And for the non-operating item at the bottom of the bar chart, the losses were significantly lower in the 2024 because there was no impairment losses last year, while there was in 2023 from the Mozambique Area 1 project. And moving on to the right-hand side, which is a quarter-on-quarter comparison. In the fourth quarter of 2024, we reported a net income of $539 million, which was a 5% increase from the third quarter of 2024. The profit from normal operation in the dark blue area slightly increased by 2%. This was mainly driven by a 5% higher sale volume from the domestic project. And meanwhile, our unit cost improved as well by dropping by 8%. However, the average selling price is lower by 3%. And on the non-operating side, the gain and loss were not significant in both the third quarter and the fourth quarter. So now let's take a closer look on the sale volume. The average sale volume in the full year of 2024 increased by 6%. This was mainly due to the G161 project ramped up to 800 million sq ft per day since March of 2024. And on the quarter-on-quarter, the average sale volume increased as well by 5%. This was due to the domestic project after there was a planned maintenance shutdown in the third quarter, and they were back to the normal operation in the fourth quarter of 2024. We also had a higher liquid loading from Oman and Algeria as well in the fourth quarter, as you can see in the gray area. On the volume mix, as of the fourth quarter of 2024, the natural gas contributed around 71%, while the remaining of 29% is liquid. And looking at the average selling price for both full year of 2024 and the fourth quarter of 2024, both were declined by around 3%. From the lower gas price and the lower liquid price as well, following the market oil price. And moving forward to the next slide on the unit cost. In 2024, the unit cost was around $29.6 per BOE, which stay within our guided range of $29 to $30 per BOE, and we expect to maintain within this range going forward. And in the next slide, I will touch a bit on the cash flow and the financial position as well as the debt profile. In terms of profitability, we continue maintaining the EBITDA margin at 73% at the end of 2024. While in terms of liquidity, we have the cash on hand around $4 billion at the end of last year, which will support the investment in the future as planned. The cash inflow from operation was positive at $7.3 billion, while the cash outflow are mainly from the investing activity, tax, and the dividend payment. And on the right-hand side for the financial position, our balance sheet remains healthy. The equity increased by around $1.2 million from the net profit of the year 2024, offset by the dividend payment in April and August of 2024. So at the bottom for the debt profile, we are able to maintain the low debt to equity ratio at 0.24 times compared to the policy at 0.5 times, which means we still have the capacity of the debt headroom. Additionally, we do not have any debt obligation this year as well. The next repayment schedule is in 2026. The cost of debt is around 4%, and our interest rate is fixed at 100%. So the fluctuation in the interest rate do not have like material impact on our performance. And in the next slide is our dividend. The board of directors has just approved the dividend for the 2024 at 9.625 baht per share. And our dividend policy is still the same, that we will pay at least 30% of the net income of that period. This resulting in the dividend payout at around 50% of the net income for the year 2024. And PTTEP already paid 4.5 baht per share for the interim dividend in August 2024 already. And the remaining of 5.125 baht per share will be paid in 22nd of April this year after the approval from the shareholder meeting in this April, in March, sorry. And moving on to the next slide on the financial outlook. I will start with the sale volume. For the full years of 2025, the sale volume is expected to be in the range of 500 to 510 kBOED. It's increased approximately 4% from the year 2024. This will be driven by the project in Thailand, especially for the D161 project, that the full year production capacity of 800 million scf per day for the first year. And for the gas selling price, the full years of 2025 is expected to be around $5.8 per MMBTU, following the price adjustment of the gas price formula. And the unit cost should be in the range of $29 to $30 per BOE, which is stable compared to the unit cost in 2024. And lastly, on the EBITDA margin, it is stable within the range of 70 to 75%. And move to the last slide of today, which is the 5-year investment budget. So we have the total budget for over the next 5 years of $33.6 billion. This can be divided into the CAPEX of 21.3 billion and the OPEX of 12.3 billion. The majority of this budget is allocated for the exploration and production business, which remain the core business of PTTEP. So looking at the overall investment budget over the next 5 years at the lower bar chart, you'll see that the OPEX remains relatively flat at approximately 2.3 to 2.5 billion per year. And the CAPEX for the producing asset in the dark green area range between 2.6 to 3.8 billion annually, mainly allocated as the maintenance CAPEX to sustain the production level of our existing project. And in the middle of the bar chart is the development CAPEX, which is range between 300 million to 1.5 billion, with the majority concentrated in 2025 to 2027. So the key contributors in this portion include the Gacha concession, the Mozambique project, the Malaysia Greenfield, and the Abu Dhabi offshore 2 or the Wazit field. So the development CAPEX that we have planned over the next 5 years will support our sale CAGR at 3.4%. And looking at the upper bar chart for the overall picture of our portfolio, the sale volume from Thailand is quite stable. You can see in the dark blue one. Given that the project in Thailand is quite a mature field, so the key growth over the next 5 years will mainly come from the overseas, such as the Middle East, Africa, and Malaysia. So in 2025, like Khun Nathon mentioned in the previous slide, that the first phase of the Gacha concession, or known as the Dalma Gas Development, will commence with the capacity of 340 million scf per day. So I will discuss on the second phase of this project later on. And in the 2027, we have the Wazet field that will start the first production with the capacity of 180 million scf per day. And then in 2028, there are a number of projects that will start produce this year. Firstly, we have the second phase of the Gacha concession called Dalma and Gacha Development. The total capacity of the Gacha concession is the natural gas around 1,500 million scf per day, and the liquid around 140 kbpd. And we also have the Malaysia Greenfield that are expected to produce in 2028 as well, with the 4 projects from the Sarawak site that we developed together as a cluster. And lastly, on the Mozambique Area 1 project, it is expected for the first cargo of the LNG delivered in the late of 2028 to the first half of 2029.
So I would like to take this opportunity to thank you, everyone, all the investor and the organizer for this event, and see you in the next quarter. ขอบคุณครับ
Thank you.
This session has come to the end. Thank you very much, investor and corporate, for joining the conference. If you do need further details, please feel free to drop us an email. ขอบคุณครับ